my PSI, it was 32 years to life. And I went, I'll go to trial. My lawyer's like, what? And I said, I can prove a lot of these enhancements aren't true. And I probably get myself sentenced to something a lot lower. So she calls the prosecutor. Prosecutor actually has the Secret Service agent come down with my pre-sentence report to a meeting with my lawyer and the Secret Service agent. We go over my PSR. She's like, okay, well, what do you think doesn't apply? And I'm like, this one. She's like, okay, this one, okay. And while we're there, my lawyer actually says, well, we can get rid of these 2-level enhancement because you can't charge him with like taking advantage of a vulnerable victim and charge him with over 50 victims. I immediately thought, what did you just do? You just cost me like 3 years. Why wouldn't we just get it as far down as we can? And when you go in and have the U.S. attorney agree to it at sentencing, then go in front of the judge and say, Your Honor, by the way, you also have to remove these 2 levels because you can't charge him with both of these enhancements. I had a buddy one time who was making LSD, and he would send it to these girls that would go around to Grateful Dead concerts and sell it for like $20 a hit. And he said, I went right through customs. I got pulled over to be searched. The woman goes through my bag and pulled that out, and she kind of goes, she was holding what was probably, $50,000 or $100,000 worth of LSD. What's this? And he goes, I'm a graphic designer. And she goes, oh, okay. And just kept going. Yeah.
How am I going to figure out how to get paper that also feels like money paper? I tried newsprint. I tried wrapping paper. I tried rice paper. Nothing really worked. So I went online, just typed in, cotton linen newsprint. I type in 36 or 40 GSM cotton linen paper, and a company came up in China, and there was like 500 sheets for, I think it was like $87 or something like that. I order this paper, get it in the mail, and I was like, okay, I think this is perfect. I start printing and it starts getting stuck in the printer. So I messaged the company back and said, do you have anything that's a little bit thicker that would run through an inkjet printer? They were like, yeah, we have 45 GSM cotton linen paper. And I was like, okay, this is great. So I ordered another ream of that. And instead of running the single sheets through, I was like, I'm going to glue them together, let them dry out, and then run them through the printer front and back. And so that ended up working. There's 2 pieces sandwiched together.
Right.
The back sheet is going to have, the strip on one side, the watermark on another, and then I'm going to glue those together to make, 1 sheet of paper, run the back through, print the image, and then run the front through, the serial numbers and the seal. To get the strip to glow, the IR ink, I would use a UV pen, like a pink UV pen. I would get like a ruler and just run it down.
Why isn't your story a movie? Well, here's why. Because most movies get made because Jimmy's cousin is the director of such and such, and he knows this producer. And Todd knows so-and-so who this. And so-and-so just lost this movie, and he's now able to sign on to this project. And so-and-so just so happened to owe so-and-so a favor, and they happened to go to a meeting and bump into the head of Warner Brothers. And now they're going to make a movie called Dumbo Drop, where they're going to drop an elephant out of an airplane to
in Indonesia
to save some tribe or the U.S. military and help the military in operation. A movie that never should have been made, but it just so happens that the stars align and that movie gets made. Where it's this amazing movie never gets made. And I was told this because I just came back from LA. It used to be the average movie it took about 7 years to get made. Now the average movie takes 13 years on average to get made.
The goal with the home invasion is you never want to shoot your gun, because once a gun gets fired,
people call the police.
People call the cops, and the entire situation changes, the entire dynamic changes, everything changes once a gun is fired.
Yeah. And they're coming quick for a gun,
yes.
For a 911 gun fired.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially in Phoenix, especially in the suburbs, where a lot of these mid to higher level drug dealers were living in the suburbs. They weren't in the projects. And you can't really rob a drug dealer in the projects because there's people standing outside at all hours of the night, and you can't just walk up, knock on somebody's door at midnight or kick a door in at midnight. So I'm 35. Look how young I look now.
Right.
Imagine how young I looked at 16. So a lot of the times I would just knock on the door, and people see a kid that looks 12.
I'm lost.
We would use the hey, I live.
Have you seen my mom?
We'd use I live a street behind you. My cat jumped the fence. Can you look in the backyard and see if my cat's in your backyard? Yeah, and we used that method for quite a while. We almost never kicked indoors. It was very, very rare for us to kick indoors. In fact, that's in my opinion, that was the worst way to do home invasions, right?
They rented an Airbnb for like a week before they even arrive at the place. They've already got it listed. And it's a little bit under market value. People are showing up and going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I want it. And they go, okay, well, let's write up a contract right now and you can give us a deposit. We're not taking less than whatever, 5,000, 3,000. And they would write them a check to the title company. They had a DBA and they created an email address. They'd send them something from them saying, we received your $3,500 or your $3,000, whatever it is. We received it. And then they would send them obviously a copy of the signed contract and everything. We've deposited it. And basically they had 30 to 45 days to close. So if you get 5 people a day at $3,000, that's $15,000 for a week. Now they got some cash. So they do another Airbnb. They do the same thing again. So they got like 400,000 in cash before anybody even starts to realize, hey, we need to get the appraiser in. Of course, they're not responding at this point. They've got their money and they're gone. I met a guy in prison. He told me, I'm actually going to call my agent. And I went, why? And he goes, I get him to put money on my books. He puts $400 or $500 on my books every month. And I went, damn. I said, yeah, but you're like done with that dude, right? I said, you're done. And he goes, oh no, I'm going to get out and keep working. He goes, what happens is I've been doing this for like 15 years. Damn. He said, I do shit. So I collect on, because I'm everything. I'm selling everything from guns to credit cards he's doing everything, drugs to everything.
Crazy.
And he's like, so what I do is I get people into a position where I get enough information on them. And then I tell the agent, I set the guy up, he gets busted. But in the meantime, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So anytime, if I do get jammed up, he'll get me out of it.
He got to get out of jail free card because he working so hard.
Right. And he said every once in a while, something will happen. And he explained 1 or 2 cases where something happened. And he's like, yeah, there's nothing I can do, bro. He's like, but don't worry. You're going to have to do about 18 month. They're saying, he's like, oh, they're saying 10 years. It ain't going to be 10 years. Right. He goes, and I'll put money on your books. And he goes, because he's a very, very good confidential informant. He's giving this guy guns, silencers. He's giving him. This guy's made his whole career. Wow. The agents will tell you this because we've interviewed him. They're like, look, a good informant, like they'll make your career.
Can't say his name right now because he's famous. He called me and he was like, boy, you ain't gonna believe this. Every envelope you put, he said, boy, I ain't had no checks. I put a blank envelope in there and it posted. He said, every time I put an envelope in there, it credits the account instant. Mm-hmm. I said, you got to be kidding me. He like,
well, the machine doesn't know yet that there's no check in there, right?
They don't know.
Just know something was deposited. It's supposed to be a check in it.
Right.
They punched it in. It's clearing.
And he just punching anything. You put 10,000.
Right.
So like if you put it in before, I believe it was 7 o'clock back then, it'd be there the next day. So my genius mind thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm on to something. Man, so we figured out that we would hold all our cars that we get people to sign up for this bank until Friday and have a field day all weekend. Because we would go around, we wouldn't even wasting our checks on that bank. That's a bank that we may go out of business without them even, we ain't even have, it wasn't no check fraud. It was fraud, but it wasn't from no checks. It was basically from blank envelopes.
Who beats the feds at trial in the Southern District of New York?
Listen, before he was playing a gangster, you go to trial with the feds like you are, because I wouldn't
talk about it, Matt. Say it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. No.
Go to trial with the feds. You what?
You are a gangster.
There we go. There we go. I didn't say it. You heard Matt Cox said it.
And that's true.
Y'all got mad with me because I said it on my Instagram and YouTube, but you heard him. You heard him. I was talking to a female, and I was telling her about what I heard in the courtroom about this dude, right? His chief of staff, he pays us $600,000 a year. Then he had 4 assistants. He's paying them $100,000 a year. One assistant stays with him 24 hours a day. The butler stays with him. They fly on wherever he go, wherever hotel room he stay in. They go there. They call it advancing the hotel room. They go there before he get there. They put the applesauce there, bowl of fruit, razor, music playing, his favorite playlist, goddamn the extra towels. Slippers, so that